What if everything you've been told about happiness is wrong? We chase it through money, success, relationships, and endless distractions. Yet so many of us still feel empty. Why? For thousands of years, the greatest minds in history, Socrates, Buddha, Confucius, the Stoics, have searched for the true secret to happiness. And what they discovered is more relevant today than ever before. Stay with me as we uncover the ancient wisdom that could transform your life forever. Society tells us that happiness is about having more money, more success, more followers. But does it work? Studies show that once our basic needs are met, more wealth has little effect on long-term happiness. We live in an age of abundance, yet depression and anxiety rates are at an all-time high. We're constantly bombarded with messages telling us that happiness comes from external achievements, buying a bigger house, driving a luxury car, getting millions of likes. But history tells a different story. The greatest philosophers believed that happiness wasn't something you own, it's something you become. For them, happiness wasn't about pleasure or material wealth. It was about how we live. The Greeks had a word for true happiness, Eudaimonia. It means human flourishing, a life of virtue, wisdom, and purpose. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle all believed that happiness wasn't about pleasure, but about becoming the best version of yourself. Socrates was famous for his relentless questioning. He believed that the path to happiness begins with self-awareness. The unexamined life is not worth living, he said. Socrates challenged people to question their beliefs, their values, and their purpose. He believed that most people were trapped in a cycle of mindless living, chasing wealth, power, or fame without ever stopping to ask, "Is this what I truly want?" Plato, a student of Socrates, took his ideas further. He famously described the allegory of the cave, where people live their whole lives seeing only shadows, believing them to be reality. But true wisdom and true happiness comes when we step out of the cave and see the world for what it really is. Plato believed that happiness comes from seeking truth, wisdom, and higher ideals, not just chasing pleasures. Are you living in a cave of illusions, chasing temporary pleasures? Or are you searching for deeper meaning? Aristotle took a more practical approach. He believed that happiness comes from balance. He called it the golden mean. Not too much, not too little. For Aristotle, happiness wasn't found in extremes. Courage, for example, is a virtue. But too little courage is cowardice, and too much is recklessness. It's about finding harmony in everything: work, relationships, and even leisure. Confucius had a very different perspective. He believed that happiness is found in our relationships with others. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home, he said. For Confucius, harmony was key. He taught that our well-being is deeply connected to our family, friendships, and society. He emphasized respect, kindness, and duty. He believed that if we cultivate good character and treat others well, happiness will naturally follow. Laozi, the founder of Taoism, had a different view. He believed in Wu Wei, the art of effortless action. True happiness, he said, comes not from control, but from letting life flow naturally. Instead of fighting against reality, we should learn to adapt and move with the current of life. The Stoics, Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, believed that happiness is an inside job. It's not about what happens to us, but how we respond. Epictetus said, "Happiness begins when we stop wishing for things we can't control. Instead of being slaves to circumstances, we must master our own minds." Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, wrote daily about gratitude. Even in hardship, he found peace in appreciating the present. Take a deep breath. Right now, name 3 things you're grateful for. See how it changes your mood? Buddha taught that suffering comes from attachment, the endless craving for more. The path to happiness is not in gaining more, but in needing less. What if happiness isn't about adding but subtracting? Across centuries and civilizations, the message is clear. Happiness isn't in things, but in how we think and live. Socrates taught us to know ourselves. Aristotle taught us balance. Confucius taught us harmony in relationships. Laozi taught us to flow with life. The Stoics taught us resilience and gratitude. Buddha taught us to let go of desire. So the question is, how will you choose to live? If you found this video helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs it. And if you want to keep exploring the secrets to a meaningful life, subscribe and join our journey to wisdom. Like, subscribe. Start your journey to true happiness today.